sometimes I forget that when I come on TikTok and say quite literally anything, people with low IQ can view my videos. So let me break this down as simple as possible, okay? If I married a black man and had kids with a black man, my kids would not look like me. Skin tone, completely different. Hair color, well, my kids wouldn't be blonde or redheaded for that matter. They would have a completely different hair texture. Our facial structures would not align. That's nothing bad. Like, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. It's literally genetics. People from all across the world have different facial features because of where they're from. Okay? I have European features. That's where I'm from. Same thing. If I married an Asian man and had Asian babies, my kids would not have red hair. Eyes would look very different, right? And that would not resemble the features of myself. And that's why I say when I have kids, I want them to look like me.
It's funny how we have to tiptoe around the type of words that we use in order to be able to explain ourselves on how it is that we see things or how we feel. This is why I'm against censorship, because regardless of whether you agree with me or not, people get so easily offended at anything that you say. And so when she's describing getting into a relationship with an Asian man or getting into a relationship with a black person, which I'm assuming that's a part of the description of one of the reasons why she doesn't want to have children that don't look like her, she has a preference for being with a white man. And so, the same way that I think that it's okay for a person to want to have children with somebody that looks like them, even if it's not about the children, right? Even if it's just your preference or who you want to talk to, I defend and I stand for people being able to talk to whoever it is that rock with them or for them to have their preferences. Now, whether you get that might be a completely different conversation, or the sacrifices that you may have to make in order to get what you want, depending on what you're asking for or what your preferences are, is a completely different conversation. However, people can prefer whatever it is that they want to prefer. The same way that I say that black women can talk to white men, black women can prefer black men. White women can talk to black men. White women can also prefer white men. It's crazy how nowadays, if a woman, because I'm assuming this is from a previous post because somebody sent this to my email, if a white woman says, I prefer to be with a white man, it's crazy that people automatically assume that they are racist. But that shows you the state of things in the United States of America, and that we've overcorrected so much for what we think is an atrocity that we have never lived through versus an atrocity that we can recognize and say, hey, listen, this is the history of what happened in the past. And we need to make sure that everybody is evaluated based off of the content of their character and not the color of their skin. It's okay for people to have preferences. We shouldn't censor people. And then we should respect people's decisions without automatically calling or labeling them a racist just because they have a preference that don't align with yours. We have overcorrected so much in the United States of America that by default, we say that a person is racist because they have a preference of somebody that look like them. Now, if it's a black woman that says, "Man, listen, I only want to talk to black men, or I only want my kids to be by a black man because of A, B, C, and D," nobody will blink an eye. And white people, right? Obviously not her, but white apologists have been so steadfast in making sure that they are so much in concerted effort to make sure that black people feel great about whatever it is that they want to do, whenever they want to do it, that now people will automatically assume that you are racist if you have a preference for talking to a white man. I'll go so far as to say this: people will assume that you hate yourself if you date outside of your race. And this is a thing that black men deal with all the time. All the time. If a black man is dating a white woman, you ain't even got to be a white woman nowadays. You could be an Asian woman, because first they wanted diversity, equity, and inclusion. Then they wanted to make sure that they had brown and black in the same conversation. So as long as you're not white, It's a group activity. But then if a black man decides that he wants to talk to an Asian woman, or if he want to talk to a Mexican woman, or if he want to talk to some form of a Hispanic woman, or if he even want to talk to an African woman, if a black man talks to an African woman, he's now called a tether because he's not traditionally getting with an American black woman. We have put ourselves in so many stupid boxes that now we all confused, and now people are starting to contradict themselves when it comes to calling out other people's preferences for who it is that they want to have a relationship with. My biggest thing is, let's try not to have children out of wedlock. Make sure that if you do have children, that you, at the very minimum, unless you're getting beat on, unless somebody is destroying your life because they've gambled away your house or something like that, unless it's something extreme, make sure that you stay together, make sure that you co-parent successfully, make it work at the very least until the children grow older, so that we can create an environment that's best for the future of America, which will be the people that will be here. That's my biggest thing. I don't really care who you talk to, and I don't care what you do, as long as they respectable human beings and as long as they do the right thing and they're not breaking the law. I'm cool with it. But let's hear more of what she got to say. Matter of fact, let's go all the way to the beginning and let's hear it in its full context. No, me, I can get off on the
I forget that when I come on TikTok and say quite literally anything, people with low IQ can view my videos. So let me break this down as simple as possible, okay? If I married a black man and had kids with a black man, my kids would not look like me. Skin tone, completely different. Hair color, well, my kids wouldn't be blonde or redheaded for that matter. They would have a completely different hair texture. Our facial structures would not align. That's nothing bad. Like, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. It's literally genetics. People from all across the world have different facial features because of where they're from, okay? I have European features. That's where I'm from. Same thing. If I married an Asian man and had Asian babies, my kids would not have red hair. Eyes would look very different, right? And that would not resemble the features of myself. And that's why I say when I have kids, I want them to look like me. Therefore, I'm going to marry someone with similar genetics as myself. European, German, Scottish, Polish, Lithuanian. So my kids could look like me. I'm not saying my kids have to be redheads. That would be cool. Very small chance. If I married another redhead, yes, I would have redhead babies, most likely. But also I could have redhead kids if I married a blonde. It's not even about hair color. I want them to share my nose or my green eyes or my jawline, whatever it may be. So yeah, it's a preference and everyone is entitled to love who they want, have kids with who they want. But for me personally, I want to have kids with a white man of European descent. Hope that makes sense. I really cannot believe I had to
No, people are still gonna call her racist. I'm just gonna keep it 100%. Do I think that she's racist? She's not telling me that she's racist. I'm not getting racist vibes from her. Everybody is not racist. People use that term so loosely. It is probably one of the most overused terms this year and last year and the year before and during Black Lives Matter's explosion of how they finesse the black community. Like, everything is not racist. And just because somebody has a preference for what they want their kids to look like, I'm not really sure what the problem is, but she's catching a lot of hell online. I always like to link back to the content creator regardless of whether I agree or not. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.